How's it going, man?
A lot about.
Nice to finally see you face to face.
What's going on? Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any lagging or anything.
Yeah, no, I'm good on my end. How are you?
I'm good. I was reading a comment. Let me finish this. We have 10 town-wide garage sales in the next month within 20 miles. Wow, that is awesome. Yeah, next, I think this Thursday we got some big garage sale thing going on here, like crazy again, like last week. So
that's so nice. I wish there was stuff like that here. I mean, we have like 15 swap meets within like 5 miles of me, but we don't have big community ones. And if they are, there's like 3 houses, and they consider that big.
Yeah. So I just want to let everybody know this is my friend. He's big on YouTube, pretty big on YouTube, and he's also on TikTok as well. San Diego Picker. If you would let everybody know what your name is, if you want to let everybody know a little bit about you.
Dude, absolutely, man. Thank you, and I appreciate you having me on here too. We've been talking about this for a long time, and I've been following, everything that you've been doing, and it's just like it's incredible to watch, and I love it, especially coming from a film background, just seeing how much detail you put into your videos, which for people that don't do TikTok, like it's pretty difficult to do some of these videos, especially on a phone. And I edit videos professionally, so being able to watch you do that, it's awesome. So appreciate you having me on here. But I'm Greg. I go by San Diego Picker. Kind of answers itself. I'm based out of San Diego, and I've been doing the reselling and flipping for quite some time. I'd say probably about like 6 or 7 years. I got into it with my dad, who is just the swap meet king. He's been doing this since I was a kid. If you go to my parents' house, everything they got is from the swap meet. So he kind of just turned me onto this whole thing. It started off with golf clubs, as you guys can see here. And I was laid off due to COVID back in July. I'm a videographer by trade. I've done everything from digital marketing to, television news. That's what I did for about 6 years. So I figured, hey, instead of just sitting around waiting for a job in the middle of a pandemic, let's see if I finally can kick off this YouTube everybody's been telling me to do. And it's almost been a year. So stoked.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of the golf clubs, that's something I don't really know a lot about. And that's what we've been talking about for a few weeks. We've been planning to do this live. And I know a lot of people probably, you go to thrift stores or garage sales, you don't know what to look for because there's so many different types of golf clubs. I really don't know a lot. I know about, like, what is it called? The Scotty Cameron putter? Is that what it's called?
Scotty Cameron's. Yeah. Let me grab that. That one. That's right here, right? So yeah. Familiar. This one is not for sale. It will never be for sale. But
they're very expensive.
Yeah, these are top of the line. This one I actually found at a swap meet. It was $7.
Oh my god!
And how much it retails $215. If I were to sell it as is, if I were to get it fixed up, about $500.
Wow! So, and there's some of those Scotty Cameron putters that go for like 500, 1,000 or more, huh? I believe.
Yeah. So those ones are like really difficult to find when you're picking, because if anybody else is looking for golf clubs, and a lot of people that aren't even familiar with golf clubs know about Scotty Camerons, but there's certain things that you really have to look for, especially when it comes to those ones. Because, well, here, let me bring this back just to give you an example. Can you see this okay, or am I too far away?
That's kind of far, but it may be okay.
So if you see right here on the grip, right? That's the signature Scotty Cameron. So you want to make sure that it has that exact logo. If I hold it sideways too, you can kind of see these indentations on it, right? So with these indentations, that's like the standard Scotty Cameron grip. And then it doesn't always come with the club covers. These covers can be upwards of $500 as well, because they're all handmade and normally leather. So, it's not just the putters, but you also, this one, you can see the bottom is a little chipped up. But if you send them in, if you have a Scotty Cameron, you can have it touched up at any time that you want to throughout the course of having it, for like a minimal fee. And they're also sponsored with Titleist. So they're, they kind of have like a partnership.
Oh wow!
So you want to make sure, so you want to make sure that you have the Titleist on there as well.
Okay. What does the Titleist look like on there? It just says Titleist, like words, or?
Yeah. So it just says Titleist. If you're familiar with golf, they make. Can
you show Can you show Is it say Scotty Cameron on the bottom of the putter, or is it only on the grip?
Yeah. So it says it on the bottom. Can you see this one?
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, I'm just trying to get an idea so everybody knows what to look for.
Exactly. So there's a lot of different models, though. So it might even be beneficial if you go on the website and just search the models. They're located actually just 35 minutes up the 5 freeway from me. So all of their names are kind of like Southern California related. So they have this one, for example, is the Newport, right? And then they have like a Newport 2, a Long Beach, but these are few and far between to find because, like I said, anybody looking for clubs is looking for these ones.
Yeah,
sure.
I always look for those at thrift stores. I know I'm never going to find them, but that's what I'm always looking for. I look for my garage sales, and I have a feeling when I find one, it's going to be like outrageous price. But I hope I get lucky one day. You just never know. But one thing I wanted to talk about is, and we discussed this already. I asked you to pick out 5 golf clubs or 4 or 5 golf clubs that are ones that you're more commonly going to come by. That's more like a bread and butter item that just sells great, but you can typically find at thrift stores or garage sales more often. I don't know if you had those around or you had something like that you want to talk about.
I got a couple right here. I grabbed a whole bunch of them just because there's different varieties, right? So it's like if you kind of think of it like a car, right? You have like a Ford, but then you have like a Ranger, you have a Mustang, you have a bunch of different kinds that have the same name.
Right, yeah.
So if you want me to just dive into a couple of these real quick, I can definitely.
Someone asked a question real quick. Ever find a birdie golf?
A birdie golf?
Birdie golf, like BYRDIE.
BYR. No, I mean the only thing I can think of is like making a birdie. So like when you're playing golf, if you hit one under par.
Birdie, like BYRDIE. Maybe that's something else.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of that. I mean, I've definitely made a couple birdies in my day. That's for sure.
Hey, you know what I've been playing for probably about 13 years now. I play frisbee golf, disc golf.
Yeah, I play frisbee golf too.
I used to play it really competitively too. Before doing all this, that's what I was doing. Was that I spent all my time playing tournaments and stuff like that.
Man, it's hard. My older brother is really into it, and I love golf. So when I got laid off, other than picking, I mean, I didn't have anything to do Monday through Thursday, and so we picked up frisbee golf as well. But I am trash at it. I'm absolutely terrible. But I have all my own frisbees and stuff,
Yeah.
But it's really nice because they're not super expensive. I thought that they would be, I mean, unless you get like the brand new ones. But the ones that I have are like $4 and $5, I think.
Yeah. And one thing too, disc golf disc. As long as that's something that sells really great for me. I don't know if you ever mess with it, but as long as they're kind of have to learn the plastic, as long as they're not cheap plastic, they sell like hotcakes. They sell like video games for me. I mean, they sell really, really great. And I had like 20 of them last year, and I sold them all within like a month.
Really?
I mean, bam, yeah.
Do you find them? Like, do you find?
I bought like a bag of them off of Facebook Marketplace from someone for like $30, and I sold the bag for like 35, and then I sold all of this individually, and then I kept some. Some weren't very good, but I kept some myself, and
See, that's wild. So when did you start doing it full time? Because I know you've mentioned that you're all in now. Like, what made you be like, okay, I can live off of this?
What's that? The reselling?
Yeah.
Oh, well, someone they answered back said that Birdie, the BYRDIE golf is a brand. They said they are nice. So I guess we'll have to look into that and see. But so I had another cleaning business that I had from out of town, and from out of state. When I moved, they all wanted to keep working, so I basically just kept paying everybody and scheduling everything and doing it over phone, you know. And basically, I was still earning a full time wage, but I had so much more free time, so I started reselling and I really started really getting heavy into it and just building up my inventory. And once I got to the point that I built up about, I think at the time I had about 350 listings, and then I had quite a bit of money saved up. And then I said, you know what, I had enough stuff by that point also to start the antique booth. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take a risk at it. And once I went full time, I had so much more time on my hands. I wasn't on the phone all the time. I mean, Monday through Saturday, every day of the week, I was having to answer calls and stuff. I had so many clients, like over 30 clients, so I was always on the phone. So, anyways, once I went full time, and now I built up to 550 listings, so definitely filled up. Huh?
Yeah.
And then I got the antique booth too, so it's pretty good.
And all the antiques in the antique booth are stuff that you find too, or do you go like to antique markets and stuff like that?
No, I find like all the stuff at either thrift stores or garage sales. Mainly garage sales. I'm going to find the best stuff for that, the cheapest price, like that. But I don't know if you saw the video I just put up today. I just went up there and filled it up, and I was kind of dreading it. I had a lot of shelving and a lot of stuff. It's been like just taking over up here, so I finally got it all up there, and so I got a check today from there. You know, like after winter here in South Dakota, here it's like 5 months of the year is garage sales, but the rest of the year it's just not good weather for garage sales. So it's really kind of slow. But this month, I mean, after all my costs and stuff and the items that I sold, I made like $200. I mean, normally it's like $200-$300. I just expanded it though from a 5x10 foot spot to a bigger spot. So I'm hoping to do a little bit more, and maybe I could add on over time. But I'm hoping to do at least like $300 or $400 a month there. That's kind of like what I'm trying to.
So that's crazy. I would love to do that. Like my dad, like I said, has been doing this stuff forever, and he loves antiques. Do you ever mess with like the old school bronze fire hydrants? Have you ever seen those with like the leather hose?
Yeah, I see them sometimes. I haven't messed with them, but I know that people like to pick those up.
Oh yeah, so he's got about 30 of those under the deck at his house, and those are top notch apparently. But I just don't know anything about the antiques. But we have it's up in Long Beach, so it's about 2 hours away from us. But it's called the Long Beach Antique Market, and I've gone up there twice. I've put them in my blogs, but it's just antique. So maybe that's something that I need to like tap into, you know.
Yeah, so the spot I had was a 5x10 foot spot, and I was paying $125 a month with 5% commission. I don't have to do any work though. I don't have to work there at all. I go up there once a week. I drop stuff off whenever I'm going to the post office. I go up there, or it's in the same building as the Savers thrift store, so it was convenient. But now that I'm doing mainly garage sales, whenever I go there around that town, like in that town once a week, I just go up there and drop everything off. Straighten it up a little bit. You know, they sweep the floor and all that kind of stuff. So in that booth area, I just expanded it. Yeah, I just expanded it from a 5x10 to a 5x16. So now it's paying like $200 a month. But I'm able to put so much more stuff in there. It's not so crammed like it was. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be doing. I think I'll be doing a lot more now that the weather's picked up and everything. So
yeah. See, that's where we're spoiled over here. I mean, there's garage sales and swap meets year round. I mean, we got rained out. Actually, on Sunday, we got rained out, and we only get about 5 days of rain. So that's one of them. So we've already had 2 others. So we got like 2 more days of rain for the rest of the year. So that'll be.
All right, so I've never done a swap meet before. If you could explain to everybody what a swap meet is.
Yeah.
I know a lot of, like, I don't know. I'm guessing it's like a trading and selling and buying things, if I'm not right. From right?
Yeah. So it's kind of like, are you familiar with like a flea market at all, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's similar to that, but I don't know why they call it a swap meet. I guess it just makes more sense. I was actually on here a couple days ago, and this guy from England was on here, and they call it a car boot. over there. He said everybody literally drives up in cars and takes stuff out of it, and they all swap it. But it's essentially a flea market where everybody just kind of comes together. And the one that's close to me, that's in all of my vlogs, it's called Kobe Swap Me. It's literally, I just moved with my girlfriend a month ago, and it's 0.3 miles, and it takes me 30 seconds to get there. So I'm there 3 days a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday when it opens. But you can sell really whatever you want. You just go there, and it's a full-blown company, and they're building another one that's right on the border of Mexico here in Southern California. So they're gonna have 2 locations, but everybody comes together, and you purchase like a little square. It's in a parking lot of where our hockey team plays. So it's a big arena, and it's a huge parking lot, but they just take over a corner of it.
It always looks like it's a big parking lot or something. That's how it is here too. I haven't been yet. I need to go, but
it's awesome because at least like here when it's the weekend, like everybody knows that they can hike up their prices because it opens at 7 a.m. and it goes till 3. But if you're one of the first people there, that's when you can really score the deals. And what you can do too is you can pay $20, which seems like a lot on the weekend, but you can pay $20 and you can go in an hour early. So they let you in before it's open to the public. And I've done that a handful of times, and that's where you get the golf clubs. Because unless you go down the right aisle, I mean, you kind of know who to go to, and most of the vendors are in the same place, every single time.
Right.
But if you pay that $20, and that's how I got this Scotty Cameron. And, if I wanted to sell it, it would be a good return, but it's just one of those things that I don't think I'm ever going to find again. And it means more to me personally than it does to get a couple $100,
That's awesome, man. I actually I want to show you something. This is kind of off topic. I picked some stuff up at a garage sale the other day. I didn't realize what I had, but it's just really cool. I don't know if you're into clothes and stuff. Find this.
I've been trying. I really like the golf polos and stuff like that. That's what I get into, but
yeah, I think I have it in here too. Hey, what do I do with it?
So do you have garage sales like every day?
Just about.
Really?
Yeah, just about. So I'll show you this one shirt I picked up.
Yeah.
Well, I'll show you this one. I really like this Harley shirt. Check that out.
That's sick. Does that have the stitched in tag too?
Yeah, it's a Harley tag. Yeah.
Nice. That's
awesome. I can't find this one anywhere else, but look at this. I just found out today this is about $100 shirt.
What?
I picked it up for $2 at a garage sale.
That's great. How's the condition? It's not like really faded or anything. It looks like.
Oh, I think it's a it's a single stitch too.
Nice. That's crazy.
Anyways, I just want to show that. I just found out today. There's one listed for $125. I think I'm going to put mine for $110 or something like that.
Yeah, cut the $15 off it since you got it for $2. That's the stuff that's most exciting to me with, especially with these golf clubs, is that people are selling them. Like, for example, so this Odyssey White Hot, this 2-ball, right? So it's literally got 2 balls on the top of it. These you can probably sell for between $75 and $100. There's like 8 different versions of it, but I picked this one up for $4. So it's like people are selling them for $100, but even if I get mine for $70, like that's a huge return. And that's what like makes it so fun, is being able to like undercut everybody else like substantially, but still make, I don't even know what percentage that is, like 500% return still.
Yeah. All right. So for everybody that just hopped on here, we were talking about golf clubs was the main topic for the night. And we're talking about, because I don't know a lot about golf clubs, and I'm always looking to learn new things. So let's go ahead and let's jump into these 5 golf clubs that are ones that will more typically come across at garage sales and thrift stores. If you could pull it up like closer to the camera so we kind of see.
Let me actually just pull this thing closer to me. I have it set up on this.
Yeah,
how's that? Is that better?
Yeah, it's a lot better. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I have. This is the the new office, like I said, we like just moved. We've been here like a month. So I'm still kind of getting my lighting and everything down. So this is where I do like all my recaps. So I'm still a work in progress. So yeah, so let's go over, I'll pull out these ones we can get into if we have enough time. But so the first one, so this is a, do you want me to go into like as much detail as I can pretty much?
No, I'll probably just talk about like the brands and the type, you know, and about what they typically go for.
Cool.
Just so we kind of know what to look for.
Yeah.
So when we're out looking around, you know, we kind of have an idea of what to pick up. Because I know that there's a lot of brands that probably have stuff that's not very good. And then they have some stuff a lot better. So,
and that's the thing is that like I can literally walk by these people and like take a glance and then just keep moving because there's just bags of golf clubs. This one guy the other day had like 12 and I just did like a quick lap and then boom, I'm out of here. Like none of those are good. So the first one, this is a driver, right? So it's got the bigger head on it. You'll see some that are very similar to this, but the head will be a little bit smaller. So those are your fairway woods. Those ones, you know, if they're at the swap meet, chances are they're not really going to be worth that much. But this one specifically is a Cobra. So what it is to, if you look at the bottom, it's Cobra 414. So this one is about, you know, I'd say 6 or 7 years old in terms of the condition. But with a lot of these older models, a lot of the older generation likes playing with these because that's what they like grew up playing with. So what
Cobra,
really want to look for,
Cobra 414.
Yeah, Cobra 414. And so for some reason, I always find these Cobras. This is the one that, like, if you're looking for a driver, 9 out of 10 times, you're going to find a Cobra driver because there's other popular brands, like I mentioned, Titleist, TaylorMade. Those are really the ones that you want to look for, but you're always going to find these Cobras because people don't know because they'll look it up and be like, this is 8 years old. But this one probably sells for about $65, $70 to the older generation. But what you really want to look for specifically, let me see if it has here on the side. So see the writing on here? Can you see that okay? So it says, how's that?
Tell me what it says. You just tell me what it says.
So this one says stiff flex. So there's 3 different kinds of flexes. You're going to have your regular shaft, your stiff shaft, or your X shaft. So stiff is for people generally between like 18 and 40 years old. So that's going to be that demographic. The regular shaft, a little bit more forgiving. That's for, you know, your younger seniors. And then X is like 75 plus. Those you pretty much want to stay away from because it's only the older generation that plays with those X shafts. So that's the first thing you want to see is your brand. Then you want to look at what kind of shaft it is. And then finally, you want to look at the grips. So this one, you can see it says Golf Pride right there. Golf Pride is a separate company of its own. So if you look at, I can compare it to this one, right? So this is a wedge. This is different. But if you see on here, it says Golf Pride as well. Golf Pride means that it's an aftermarket grip. So if the grip came originally with the club, it's going to have the name and the brand of the club on the grip, right? Okay. So someone took enough care for this club to want to re-grip it and put a better grip on it. So that also ups the value. If you look at all of these, Golf Pride, this one, so see how this is an Odyssey putter, right? And then you got Odyssey on the grip. So this isn't an aftermarket grip on this one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So definitely want to look at those things. So that's for...
Sorry, guys. So on that Cobra, the 414 driver, you said it typically sells for around $65 to $70. What flex was that again that you were telling me?
That was a stiff flex.
Stiff. Now, is that only the stiff flex that sell for around that?
No. It's either going to be your stiff or your regular, but I was just giving you the example of stiff, regular, and X because they'll be more difficult to sell. If you get an X shaft, I mean, you really have to get, somebody that is looking for that shaft. But the stiff shafts normally are the ones that are going to sell a little bit better. They all go for the same price. But, the younger generation is going to want the stiff shaft. Otherwise, they're going to buy the club and then have to switch it out with a different style shaft.
Someone was asking about shipping those. I'll say that USPS has these free boxes. They're 2 boxes. I use these. I mean, I don't know. Some people buy their own, but I usually put the price of the I figure out the shipping cost before I list the item for something like this.
Yeah.
And these will kind of like, let's see if I can fold one real quick. They fold up into like a little triangle like this.
Nice.
So I don't know if you use those or not, but
I'll grab what I use. I used those. Oh, actually, they're in the other room. Give me 1 second.
So I figure out. I use the eBay shipping calculator, and I put in my zip code and the furthest one from me, and then I figure out a flat rate for a priority mail like that, or I'll just put in regular priority calculated shipping for something like that. Oh, you got it wrong.
Yeah, so I use these ones. I used to use the flat rate shipping ones, but when you try to ship like a driver, the head doesn't fit in there. And if you try to like jerry rig it, like 9 out of 10 times, it'll get broken. I've had, even in these boxes, I've had about 5 clubs get like snapped in half.
Because it's not a, it's just a mel. It's not a flat rate on the, like, do you ever just cut one in half and like stick them together for the priority mailboxes?
No, I've honestly always just used these. I could do the wedges for those, but what I do with my shipping is, so I get all these off of Amazon. So you can get like 25 of them for like $30. So it's a little expensive, but what I do is every club is give or take 1 pound, right? So every single club that I sell is just $15 flat. That's what it's going to be, whether it's a driver, a putter, or a wedge. And I've never had any kickback on that just because of how like well I package them. But sometimes, it'll only be $8. But coming from San Diego, if I ship a wedge up to Maine, which I've done before, it's like exactly $15. So that's just kind of like make sure that I at least cover that cost. But, most of the time I make a little bit of money back, and it pays for all the expenses, and it pays for, how expensive these are.
Someone asked a question. I don't do this. Do you have to pay more to eBay for better exposure, like the promoted listings? I've never done it.
I've never done it, but I have noticed. I'm sure you noticed too. They kind of switched up how you list stuff. It happened, I'd say, about like 3 weeks ago, right? Like on the website, when you go to list it, you have to put in like 2 times the amount of information. It seems like now.
I use my phone app to do it, and I go like a breeze. The desktop, I used to be all about the desktop or doing Safari on my phone, and things like that. But once I got used to using the phone app, man, I can knock out listings so fast now. I mean, I knock out listings in like 2 minutes of pop.
That's what I need to start doing then, because I was using the website, and then what was really cool is it gave you like the upload from your mobile option for pictures. And so I would always go on my phone and then upload them that way. But now you have to like drag them into a folder and make sure they're JPEG and do all that stuff. They've made it a little more difficult, but they do give you the option for like $2 more. Your listing can be like bold, or you could put like a larger picture. And it's like, I guess if I had something that was going for a couple $100, I would spend the extra $4. But for these kind of things, I mean, they're going to sell, when it's stuff that, like, I'm sure when it's stuff that is good, you're not going to put that added energy into it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Someone else said that they hate that eBay took PayPal away. I honestly like it a lot better. I think it's so much easier.
I kind of like it too.
I hated having to transfer my funds all the time. Like, I don't have to do any of that anymore. It's like hands free for me. And it's a lot less fees too. It's like, I don't know. I haven't had any problems with it at all. They're still working out some tweaks for sure, but I like it.
Yeah, no, I definitely like it too, because you don't have, because when you get paid on there, you then have to wait 3 or 4 days to then get the money out, and then your bank could put a hold on it if it's a certain amount. And it's like now it's just directly into your bank account. So
yeah.
Well,
what's another golf club that is easy to come by, that we'll probably find at thrift stores or garage sales or Facebook Marketplace for cheap, that are actually worth some good money?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've already kind of gone into the 2-ball. This one is going to be, this is your bread and butter. I mean, I found so many of these. I probably sold about, what's that?
Odyssey is the brand?
Yeah. So it's Odyssey, 2-ball, and then you're either going to have the white hot on the face or you're not going to have the white hot. It doesn't, I mean, with golf, they'll be like, oh, this one is jailbreak technology, and they'll put like something different on the shaft, and all of a sudden everybody's like, I need that. I need to, I'll hit the ball straighter. No, the white hot doesn't mean anything. It's just a little bit more expensive of a brand. So, I mean, these are your bread and butter. You can get these. I've gotten one as little as $2 before, and it was a little dirty. That's why the guy got rid of it. I brought it home, wiped it down, good as new, sold it for $70 within like 12 hours. But the ones that you also want to look for is your wedges. A lot of the cheaper ones I've already sold, but this one is your Titleist Vokey wedge. It's pretty much the equivalent to your Scotty Cameron putter, right? But this is going to be for your wedges. So as you can see, the club face is different from, your putter or the driver.
So real quick, the Odyssey 2-ball, what does that typically sell for?
Retail or eBay?
eBay.
eBay, about, I've seen them as low as 55, but I've seen them as high as 100. So it really just depends on the condition.
Okay.
And the model. Like I said, if you have this white hot one, I'm going to be able to get like $15 to $20 more, just because it says that. Because with golf, like I mentioned, if there's one extra thing, people go, oh, that's what I need to fix my game,
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one, the Titleist, what type of Titleist was that?
So this is your wedge, right? So if you can see on the bottom, see how there's like a little degree? There's like numbers right there.
Okay.
So your wedges are going to be anywhere between a 50 to a 60 degree. So you could see, a 50, 51, 52, any of those numbers. That's how you know that it's a wedge. If you see a single digit, those are going to be your irons, which are totally different, because you have to find the entire set of irons to really make any money off of them. There's a couple brands that you can find and sell them individually, but really these wedges are what you're going to be able to sell individually compared to like an iron.
Someone had a question that is a good question, because I've seen these before. What about custom clubs, like an inch longer shaft for taller people? Do you do well with those? Selling stuff like that?
So the only really custom clubs that I've never found any custom irons. Your driver is going to be a different length, just depending on like what your preference is, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's custom. If someone's getting custom made irons, they're going to keep those for life. So I wouldn't really be too concerned about that. When it comes to your putters, though, that's what you got to watch out for, because I've seen putters. This one is 33 inches, which is pretty standard for somebody my height. I'm 6 foot, but I've seen them chop down as low as 20 inches. So it's really just your preference with golf. Like, every little bit matters. So to answer the question with the custom ones, I wouldn't be too concerned about that, because chances are you're not going to find those. And if you do, it'll only be one, which won't really be worth selling unless it's a putter. And a driver, you're not going to know whether it's custom or not, because, the shaft can be 35 inches. It could be 30. like mine that I play with isn't custom. It's about 5 inches shorter just because that's a preference for me.
Someone say that he said he has custom irons made for himself, tailor made. I'm 6'5". I'm actually 6'4". A lot of people don't know how tall I am. I'm actually pretty tall. A lot of people think I'm short. I ran into someone locally. They're like, "I thought you were short." I was like, "No." It's funny.
Yeah. See, if he has custom made tailor mades, he might be in San Diego too, because we have tailor mades down here. Callaway. I mean, this is where like the golf hub is Carlsbad, just like 35 minutes up the road.
Yeah, real quick. Whenever I really got heavy into reselling, my first item I sold that really got me hooked was a Callaway golf bag. Actually, but I don't know much about golf. I found it in a garage sale for $3.50, practically new condition. It was in a high end bag, about $160 bag, brand new. I flipped it in a couple hours for $60, and I was like, man. And I've been watching like garage sale YouTube stuff for a while, like Cincinnati Picker and garage flips, and I was like, you know what, I can do this.
Oh yeah,
here I am.
So, do you watch Stacked Golf at all? Do you watch them?
Stacked Golf.
Stacked Golf.
That golf? No, I've not.
Yeah, it's a husband and wife, and what they do is they go around and almost exclusively purchase golf clubs, and I think they're in Florida, I'm pretty sure. And so they'll go to a lot of like golf communities and purchase all the clubs and then take them to the golf course and hit them and be like, this is how much we're selling this for. And it's like, they're really good. They go into a lot of detail and find some actually like really cool clubs that are ones that like they find some custom ones, which is really cool, but they're going to like golf communities. So they have a good amount of information as well on there.
So let me ask you this real quick. The Titleist wedge that you were saying, it was like a 50 degree to what, a 52? I think you're saying something like that. Is that like a certain style of wedge? Like, is it a certain name to look out for, like a Titleist something?
Yeah. So
what are we looking for?
So you can see, let me see. So see this Titleist, right? So it's Titleist, and then underneath it says SM7. So so like essentially Titleist is like Ford, whereas the SM7 would be like Mustang, right? So that they go all the way from SM1 to, I think they're up to like a 10 now. So this is a little bit older, but with Titleist ones too, what you want to look for as well, you can see right here, right above like the club face, it says Vokey Design. Vokey is what I was saying. He is the Scotty Cameron of wedges. So Scotty Cameron is actually like a physical person that like makes those putters. And that's why they're so expensive, is because all of those are custom made putters. Oh, wow. So these wedges aren't necessarily custom made, but what you can find too, let me see if one of these has. So this one, it's another.
Go ahead.
So this one is another Titleist, but as you can see, this is a 56 degree. So depending on what the degree is, that's how far away from the green you would hit into. So your 52, actually, I think these are both 56s. Yeah, these are both 56s. So if you have a 52, the higher the number, the farther away from the green you'll hit it. That doesn't really matter when it comes to like reselling, but just to help with, what you're looking for. But there's also, you can see on here, see how it says S grind?
Yeah.
So your grind is also your bounce, which is this part of your club, right? And then it has to do with your grooves in here as well. So because it's an S grind, that means that there's like more like technology put into the club. So even though this is the same degree, these are both actually, here's an SM5, this is an SM7. This one's going to go for more because it's got that extra like technology in there.
So when you say they go for more, the Titleist wedge, the first one you're talking about with the Vokey design, what does that typically go for compared to the S grind design you're talking about?
So the SM7 on eBay, you can get upwards of like $80 probably for this one. Whereas because it has the S grind, I would say like 90, maybe even almost 100. But the golf clubs, it really depends on your condition as well. So like this one, you can kind of see there's a couple like dings and chips on the bottom. So that's definitely going to devalue it. So I would always be careful because I've had people that I've left something out of the listing before, and it was totally my fault. Like there was like a little chip on it, and I didn't put that in the details. So then when the person got it, they were like, "Hey, we want $10 or $15 back because you didn't disclose that," which it was my fault. I took the hit, but also that affects your play, unfortunately. So that's probably why this one hasn't sold yet, is because it does have those chips right on where the club is going to make contact with the ground. And so
I'm glad you brought that up because I had something similar with a different item happen, and I just think this is a good topic to talk about. This when I first started on eBay, I saw this. It was an antique mirror. I thought it was solid brass.
Yeah.
But I was wrong. It was brass plated. So if you're ever not sure, you're not 100% sure, make sure you just disclose stuff like that in the listing, because the guy got it. He wanted to polish it up for his daughter, and then he realized, hey, he started to polish it, and it was showing through where it wasn't solid brass. I made a mistake on that. I ended up, I didn't want to get negative feedback. I just started on eBay, and I was like, look, I'll refund you some of the money. Like, he wanted to keep it. He didn't want to have to send it back. I thought he was messing with me at first. Because you hear a lot of stuff about eBay, and you want to be careful, but really it wasn't. It was my fault. He sent me pictures and everything, so I had to refund him some money. So make sure that if you're ever unsure, make sure to list that, and always make sure. Like, I'm always trying to put all the details in the listing, because the better someone knows what they're buying and showing more photos, it's like they're there buying the item. That way you don't have to worry about returns, paying return shipping. I never have problems with that anymore, but so a lot of people I know, they're worried about stuff like that. But as long as you take your time, list it, as much as good information you can about the item, you don't have to worry about returns or stuff like that happening with golf clubs. So
100%. I had a very similar issue with it was an old school like gas can that my little brother actually saw for free on Craigslist, and he went and bought it. It was probably about like this big. I can't remember what the model was, but the comps for it were like $150. And so he drove, it was only like 10 minutes away, picked it up, brought it back, sat in my parents' garage because he didn't even have storage or room for it. So I said, let me toss it on eBay. Let's put it up for $100, right? So the guy, before I shipped it to him, he asked me, he said, hey, what's the condition of the inside? I was like, it's probably fine. I don't know how to open this thing. It's an old school gas tank. And I was like, it's good. It comes with the hose and everything, right? I sent it to him, and he sent me, he was really upset about it as well, because the thing cost like $45 to ship because it was so heavy. And apparently he redid them. So he would find these old school ones and like fix them up and restore them. And he's like, I can't even sandblast the inside. It's like caked with rust, and I'm going to sandblast through. And so I kind of just bit the bullet, and I was like, I didn't want to get negative feedback either. And I was like, technically it was free. I refunded him fully because he just wouldn't let it go. He wouldn't even take a partial refund.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I just want to say real quick, congratulations on reaching 10,000 followers on TikTok. Congratulations for 13,000. That came quick.
Thank you, man.
You hit 10 and now you're already at 13. That's how it seems to go. Like, once you get a little following going, it's like you start kind of getting a little push, So,
yeah, man.
Once you got some people behind you and stuff,
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'll say if you want to get off maybe golf clubs for a minute, we talk about some other things, switch it up. And I don't know if you have any viewer questions or whatever.
Let me check. I want to check my battery, make sure my battery's good. Yeah, one person just said, he just said, where are the Pokemon cards? Because I've talked so much. Have you tapped into that at all?
Pokemon cards?
Mm-hmm.
I found a whole binder of like vintage Pokemon cards, and I sold it to, or I didn't sell it. I hooked Nashville Flipper up with it. That's how we became friends. Like this was
Nice.
months ago. You know, we
Yeah.
looked through it all. He made a fair offer for someone on it, and I knew the guy and stuff. But I don't mess with them because I just don't know really what to look for. But if I find a bag of them for cheap enough, I'll pick them up and take my chance, and look into it. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of time to mess with that kind of stuff. But then again, you just never know. There's a bunch of rare cards out there. So
yeah, they've been pretty fun. I jumped in right at the beginning of the hype. I follow Logan Paul, if you're familiar with him. He's a pretty popular YouTuber, and he posted something on Instagram that was like, just sold all my Bitcoin and bought Pokemon cards. And I was like unemployed at the time, and I was like, I'm gonna follow in his footsteps. Sold all my Bitcoin, which I regret now if you look at what some of those prices are. But I bought Pokemon cards too, and I bought ungraded ones. And so I think I dropped about like $400 or $500 into some and got them graded, and I've already tripled my return on that. So when you have the free time, definitely look into, I mean, the newer ones are kind of a different animal of their own, but the older ones, I found my collection from when I was a kid and made a couple $100 off of those. And I'm like, that came full circle real quick.
So someone asked a question, and don't feel embarrassed. They said they're embarrassed to ask. Don't feel embarrassed. What are your thoughts on Beanie Babies in general? I get asked about Beanie Babies all the time.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on
Beanie
Babies?
I do too. American Arbitrage just joined. What's up, man?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So Beanie Babies, those are just so tricky. So I had an episode a couple months ago, and there's this really sweet like mother-son who sell at it's called the South Bay. It's probably about like 15 minutes from actual like Ensenada or Tijuana, Mexico. And so you get a lot of people that are crossing over the border that bought storage units down there and are just trying to unload everything. That's my dollar spot. I mean, I'll leave there for like $7. And so there is
Carrie's girlfriend Dawn just popped on.
Nice.
Said, hello, I'm gonna join yours while Carrie's on yours.
Nice. There we go. Nice. But yeah, so I bought one from them. They had I could actually grab it real quick. It's super cool now that I have my office. I have an entire I can show you guys real quick. I have my entire closet is just all my organized picking stuff. So it's super awesome. It's been really nice to be able to have that.
Is that all of your inventory?
Yeah, most of it. I have another storage unit outside, and that's where all my golf clubs are. But that's like it's pretty much everything I keep like right there. I haven't had to get a storage unit just yet. My girlfriend's been trying to keep me away from that. So
have you sold many Beanie Babies?
No, haven't sold a single one.
I haven't sold a single one. I have some that are like rare that misprinted. I picked 3 up for 25 cents a piece, still in the package at a garage sale because I looked at the comps. I was like, holy crap, let's go for like 300, maybe 3,000. I don't think a lot of those comps sold listings are real. I think people
so either
are buying it with they're buying it but not paying for it, and then because they will show up.
Yeah,
if you buy it and not pay for it, and then they're canceling it and then relist their item to make it look like, hey, that one just sold for this much.
Yep.
I'm gonna buy it or try to get an offer because it's a rare one. Mm-hmm. I started off with like $300 on one. I went down to $150. I'm down to $5 a piece, still brand new in the package with errors, and will not sell.
Nobody wants them.
No watcher, nothing.
That's how it was with this Blackie Bear, and that's the mother and son that I bought it from. I looked at the comp for this thing, $750. I was like, hey, how much do you want for it? And he's like, I'll give it to you for $3. And I was like, oh my god, it's the biggest flip of my entire life, and 7 months later, I still have it. So
someone brought this up to me the other day. I kind of have mixed feelings on this. I'm going to see what you think about this. They think that Funko Pops will one day be Beanie Babies, as far as they were made to be collectible. So many were produced, and they just kind of die out. What do you think? Do you think that's true? Do you think that they will always be collectible and grow more rare? Because it's not like Pokemon. Pokemon cards, people play with those. You know, they look for cards.
Well, what I explain to people with the Pokemon cards is like, you know, they're like the Charizards, right? Those Charizards, some of them, I think the highest one went for like $500,000. And it's like, okay, if you look at this in the grand scheme of things, if you buy a Charizard, right, there's some of them that are like $10,000, right? But there are Pokemon tournaments that still happen with like pretty high up prizes. So if you're able to play a holographic Charizard in a tournament that can potentially allow you to win the tournament and make 50 grand, would it be worth $10,000, you know, to buy that card? So that's what I try to remind everybody is just like anything else, there's cash prizes. But with the Funko Pops, I have one Funko Pop that was like a Harry Potter one. I looked up, it was rare too, and it hasn't sold. I would say it's along the same lines as Beanie Babies, but there are some rare ones where there's only like 5 or 10. Like there's a Tiger Woods one that they only made 50 of them. So I feel like maybe that is what's going to be popular down the road. But even with these errors and stuff, I mean, it could be like Pokemon cards though. This could come around. It just might take another 10 years.
Yeah, they come back. I don't know. Now I will say I posted a Facebook post a while back about I buy stuff. And I sell it on other platforms, and I still have people. I had someone message me the other day, do I buy Precious Moments? I don't know, but I don't know about Precious Moments, but I don't know. They're really overproduced. But what was I going to say? I bought some Funko Pops from someone. I paid like $1 a piece, and I want to say I got like 5 or 6, and I've sold all of them. I think I've sold every one of them. Yeah,
really.
I sold like 4 boxes in my antique booth. And then I think I had one on eBay I sold for like $20. So they seem to sell okay as long as you price them right. If you there is so many listed that I think you really have to be competitive on the prices in order to sell them because there's so much competition.
Were these like special ones or anything, or were they like pretty common? Or
there were like 3 of them were common, and then 2 were limited. But I sold them all.
Wow.
So every one of them. So, and they sold within about a month's time.
Yeah.
So
that's good. Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting for my Harry Potter one to sell. So maybe if that happens, there's come around. Yeah, hopefully there's a vendor at the swap meet that specifically sells. He buys out. So you pay per like little square, right? So this guy will buy out 3 squares, and it's all Funko Pops. But he knows what those are worth, so he's asking top dollar. I have a question here too that says I think it's regarding the t-shirt that you got for $2, the $100 one, and they're asking about selling on Poshmark. So do you list that kind of stuff on eBay, or is that something you would go over to Poshmark for?
That's a good question. I was actually talking to my friend today, Jigsaw Threads. I don't know if y'all know him. He's a good guy. Also, I was talking to Green Threads as well. I was showing them. But the Jigsaw Threads, the one who pointed out that it was worth so much because he saw some listed. I think he saw some sold around that price. What was I going to say? He was telling me that Depop is really good for stuff like that. I've never sold anything on there. He was just saying that it's kind of like eBay. There's like an algorithm. You got to list stuff often to really get sales on there. But he was saying that Depop is good for stuff like that. I think Poshmark is as well. I haven't really looked at Depop, but one thing about Poshmark I like is that you can check sold listings on there. Sometimes I go on there if I can't find odd clothes on eBay, I will go on there and I'll check the sold listings and I'll find information. But Facebook Marketplace has sold listings as well. A lot of people don't know that.
I did not know that. No, that's new information.
Yep, I just found that. 1851 AD, Carrie's girlfriend said, "Have you ever sold any Jim Shore items?" I'll start off. Nicole, my girlfriend, picked up some Jim Shore stuff for like $5 at a garage sale, still in the box. It was pre-owned, but we flipped it pretty fast for about $85. I don't know if you've ever messed with Jim Shore Christmas items. They make Christmas items.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, and then Shore, like SHORE.
Jim Shore.
Good,
no,
good stuff.
The only Christmas item I bought, I think it was a Flyers, like a Flyers. What's it called? Like the hockey. We're not big into hockey here in San Diego because it's always like 80 degrees. But it was a Flyers like Hallmark Christmas ornament. That's the only one I've ever bought. Are those like what is it? Jim Shore?
Jim Shore, yeah. And like Department 56 is another good one. What's the other one? Can't think of the name. God, man. It's another one. I think it starts with an H. I feel like so weird for not knowing this. My mom's like favorite show, Hallmark. Hallmark, I think it is maybe.
Yeah, that's
a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
They're really hit or miss, but they have some items that are pretty good. Someone was asking about selling Star Wars toys. I think Star Wars toys sell good. The newer ones, as long as they're brand new, in the packs, or the old ones. I picked up some for really cheap last week at a garage sale. I kind of wish I didn't pick them up. I paid like 25 cents a piece. They only sell for like $5 a piece. I was trying to hurry up and grab stuff, and I thought one of them was something, and it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
One of my buddies here does like he almost exclusively does toys, because we go to all the same swap meets. He actually was like, hey, he didn't even know that this South Bay swap meet existed, because it's on Wednesday and they open at like 6 a.m. So if you're there on time, I mean, you're walking away with a boatload of stuff. But he knows a lot about toys, and so he'll pick up like Jurassic Park toys, and he knows the Star Wars ones, and he can sell some of those. I think it was one of the Velociraptors, right? And so he picked this Jurassic Park one up. There's a vendor at this swap meet, and they just have a table, put the table out, and just dump toys onto it. And he picks through them and sold this Velociraptor for like $75. And it's like a 50-cent table over there. And it's just like the most unbelievable thing that I've noticed, which I'm sure, your friends have probably brought it up to you too, is that like everybody can't believe what kind of stuff sells on eBay, but it's like you have to put in the effort. It's not like you're just going to a swap meet, buying something for $5 and then you put it on eBay and it sells. Like you really have to put in the energy to research it and take good photographs, which I actually wanted to ask you about that. Do you like, I just set stuff on the table, right? I'll set it up on my coffee table, snap a couple pictures, list it. Do you go as far as like putting them in like one of those photo cubes, or what's the extremity you take for, your listing photos?
How do I list them and stuff? Real quick, I just want to say thank you to everybody who just sent me a ton of gifts. I don't know. It's like, it kind of blew me away. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Like 10 gifts just thrown at me. So it's kind of a mess right now because I have been running around today. But typically I kind of show you kind of how I do this. I got these two lights right here.
Nice.
This one and this one. And like, I'll hang clothes up there. I was taking photos, showing somebody some stuff earlier. Typically this is all cleared off right here. And I have this whiteboard right here. It folds out, and I'll put it right here on top of the table. And it will make it like all white.
Arbitrage.
Makes it really white right there. And then these lights, I will tilt them up and raise them up and shine them up whenever I do photos of like clothing and stuff. I'll get right up on it and take pictures of that. So.
And you just use your phone, right?
Yeah, I just use my phone for taking photos. I got kind of stuff everywhere, and I just got like my computer, which I saw that Power Ranger toy today. This one, I picked up for 25 cents. I sold it for 20 plus shipping.
Let's go.
I just listed
that's a huge return. And a lot of my friends are like, I won't put in the effort, like, oh, it's only $20. And it's like, but if you sell 5 of those, that's $100. That's killer. That's such a good return.
Yeah. Oh my God. I just got called up. Hold on, give me 1 minute. I listed like 4 of them or 5 of them yesterday, I think it was. Oh my God. I got to get a new I got like a 10-foot long phone cord. I got tied up from it. I tied up on my chair. I'm charging my phone because I've been on live a few times and my phone's gone dead, and I didn't realize my battery was just like the lives will just eat up your battery.
Yeah.
I've gone
That's actually a
dead
good thing for
before.
me.
I went dead one time. I had like 80 people on. My thing just shut off. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, let me actually plug mine in too. That's a good
Someone
thing.
said they just started branching out from clothes. Yeah, I've never really been the kind of person that just stuck in one lane. I'm always like picking up anything that looks unique to me, and just picking up stuff and learning as I go. Anything that's branded, just because I just want to learn a little bit of everything. So whenever I see items again, I know what to look for, and I just can find. I'll end up finding so much more valuable stuff as long as just picking up little and big things, all the time.
Yeah. That's what a lot of people ask me too, is like, how do you know what's worth anything? And it's like, I don't. I have no idea, except for the golf clubs. The golf clubs I know, except actually, let me show you this. This one came as a pretty big surprise. So see how like big the head is on this thing? So if you can see next to my hand, it's like the same size of my hand. So this is a Ping. Ping is a really popular brand too. So my dad, if I can't make it to the swap meet, my dad is there Thursday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He's the first one in the door. He always pays the extra money to like go in early, and he'll pick up stuff for me. And so he picked this thing up, and he's like, hey, it was only $2. I figured, why not? You have the room for it now. You got the storage. And so I was like, Dad, like, what? Who's going to buy this thing? I looked at the comps on it. This goes for $180. And it's like, so golf clubs, you never really truly know. So even these like kind of like abnormal looking ones, as long as they're name brands, pick them up if you can get them for, pennies on the dollar, especially at Goodwill too. I've found a handful of them at Goodwill, and now my girlfriend even will swing by on her way home because now she knows what to look for. And I know you mentioned your girlfriend does that part-time, which is awesome. And now I'm even, my girlfriend's getting her master's like based off of, the golf clubs. Because we did, my buddy hit me up, and he wanted to get rid of his entire garage, and he's a golfer too, golf club collector, and he gave me a whole bunch of stuff. I have a blog episode about it for $350. And so in order for me to get her to allow me to have like 100 golf clubs in the apartment, I was like, hey, why don't we split this? We can kind of do it together. We made almost $2,000 off of all those clubs. And so she kind of saw it, and it's helping pay for her. And it's unbelievable. And the fact you're doing that full time, man, I'm so jealous. I wish I could just pull the trigger and do it.
It's tough now because now that she went from 90 hours over 2 weeks to 35, it's like I feel like so much more weight on my shoulder to really be like, cranking it out. I haven't even listed at all today. So when we get off of here, I'll knock out some listings. Tomorrow, I'm going to stay home all day, and I'm going to knock out at least 20 listings tomorrow. And then Wednesday, I'm probably going to do about 20 as well, just to get caught up. We're only going to go out, I think, Thursday this week because I still got so much stuff, and just be really picky about what we pick up and not pick up too much small items. I got so much stuff for the booth right now too. I may pick up a few things, but I'm really just going to kind of let that sell down a little bit right now. But
I'm intrigued to see some more TikToks with the booth. I think that's such a cool idea.
Yeah, I've had some. That's my third I've done now. Before I got the spot, I showed the spot, and then since I kind of set it up the first time when I had the smaller spot, and then I just did it again today. That pegboard wall, that 12-foot long pegboard wall, I was dreading that. We did that actually. We did that already like a couple weeks ago, and man, when we started putting that on the wall, it took us like 3 hours, and it was just I was so aggravated. We should have bought screws too. We were like trying to use screws we had already, so like every single screw we pick up out of the toolbox was like a different head on there, so we had to change the drill bit like every screw we're drilling in. Just such a headache. We were not very prepared. I will be next time, but finally got it up. It's going pretty good.
Awesome.
Someone asked me a question I wanted to answer. I said, "How long?" Says Mama. She's been on for a while. Mama, I don't know how to say her whole screen name, but thank you so much for staying on here and tuning in. She said, "How long do you keep your items on eBay, and if it doesn't sell, do you get rid of it?" And I was just going to answer that by saying, and I'll let you answer it too. For me, the only stuff that doesn't sell for me is stuff that I pick up really cheap at garage sales. I'm just taking a whim on that doesn't really have sold comps, doesn't have any history. Stuff that has pretty good history, I seem to sell it over time. Some things just take a while to sell. It depends on how well you list everything. If you offer international shipping, your offer or best offer. Sometimes what I do is after my items sit for so long, if I don't have any watchers, I just slowly start lowering the price on those items. At least after like 4 months. That's what I've been doing. What I do is every night before I go to bed, I send offers before I go to bed, and then I will go through some old listings. Not every night, but most nights. I'll go through all my old listings, and if I don't have any watchers and a lot of views, I'll just lower the price, a few dollars at a time. And over time, stuff like that will sell. It's just there's probably a lot of competition. You could list something today that you may have had the cheapest one listed, and no one bought it, and then over time the market went down, and you haven't gone back to look. So what I do is I just lower stuff, and stuff will eventually sell. You may hold on to something for a year or two before it sells sometimes, but what I do is I buy if I buy 10 things. Sometimes I'll spend like $20 on 10 things. I'll sell 2 things and I got my money back. So exactly. I don't care how long it takes for that stuff to sell, because when it sells, it's profit, baby. It's all going in my pocket.
Exactly.
Other than
all profit.
I pay, whatever comes out of there for the fees, whatever's left over, it's all profit. So I don't care how long it takes to sell, but I also want to keep my inventory. I want it to be stuff that is selling pretty consistently because I have so much space too. But I'll let you answer that question. If I don't know, I may have answered it for you.
Yeah, mine's pretty much the same. And real quick too, I wanted to say thank you everybody that's been staying on here as well. And I'm just getting lit up with the presents right now, so that's definitely really really cool to see, especially because I just started doing I've done a couple of lives, but now once you go over 10,000 followers, man, like TikTok is a total game changer once you hit kind of that threshold. So it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I would answer it very very similar to what you said. What I actually did was, so moving into this new place, I showed you I have an entire thing of inventory. I have a whole room now, but my girlfriend and I used to live in a 1-bedroom, and we were both working remote and would literally sit back to back. And so I had to be really careful with what I picked and what I held on to. So what we ended up doing is every 3 months, I would take out the stuff that's just been sitting there. And I could tell because I would go on to eBay and it would say 800 views. And it's if there's 800 views, nobody's bought it. Okay, chances are I should probably just let it go, And so what we did was we donated a lot of stuff for Christmas, because I have a couple videos with the Salvation Army. I have some connections there for here in San Diego, and so I wanted to be able to give back to them. I did the vlogs as well, just to give some publicity, but they really do a lot of great stuff. And they did a lot of really great stuff for me as well. So every 3 months, we would just go and donate to them and just take whatever it is, put it in a bag. Here you go, and let them do what they will. But now I'm holding on to things a little bit longer. I'll probably swap out I would say maybe 5 months now. But now that I have the room, it's changed the game, because I can pick up stuff that I would have never gotten before.
Yeah. I just want to say real quick, I'll say what's up to Colts Comic. Me and him were just talking earlier today. If you're not following Colts Comics, he's got a lot of funny reselling videos he does. He's also a good friend of mine. Also 1851 AD. She does like repurposing furniture. I learned so much from her. I wish I had the time to do all that. And that girl, she's working a full-time job right now and doing
Wow.
that, and has a shop that she's running on the weekend with Carrie American Arbitrage. If you're not following them, go check them out. See, I guess starting to get pretty late, 9:30. I know you said you want to ask me some questions about some stuff, so I figured if you want to talk, if you had some questions for me or something like that, let me know.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I'm just like, like I mentioned, I'm a videographer by trade. That's what I've always done as a job. And so watching your videos, it's just like it's so intriguing to me because I'm still fairly new to TikTok. I think it's only been, 4, maybe 5 months. My girlfriend one day was just like, you should get a TikTok. Posted 2 videos, nothing really happened. Posted 1 video, and I got like 10,000 views. I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna see what happens with this. But watching yours, it's when I came across your TikTok. It looks like you put so much detail into it that for everybody that's watching, I don't know if you guys edit on TikTok, but it's not easy for 1, and for 2 to do it on a phone with your thumbs. It's extremely difficult. So you post extremely consistently too. So do you have these like already created? Like what, can you walk me through your process?
All right, so a lot of people I know that make videos on here, they draft everything. They make a bunch of videos and draft them all. I've tried that, but I have dreams about it at night, and I can't sleep well at night, so I don't do that. It's funny, but I just can't do it. So what I do is I have all my footage, and then I just throw something together. I'll throw it together like early sometimes or right late at night. Like today, I didn't start working on it until about 6 o'clock. Or actually, no, it's probably about closer to 7. But yeah, I don't know. I can draft them sometimes early, and I'll wait until the perfect time to drop it. I like to drop it a little later on in the day. But Dawn quick buttered up Matt with all my money. Dawn keeps sending me all kinds of gifts. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, like today though, man, that video was like my mouth was so dry, I couldn't get my words right, and I talked so fast on some of those, especially the longer ones, and barely breathing. I did that video today on the intake booth. I did the voiceover like 50 times before I was satisfied. A lot of times I can throw them together within 5 minutes. Sometimes it takes me an hour or 2 to make a video. It just depends on how much footage I have to pull and cut and clip it together.
Yeah.
So, a lot of my videos I put together, and then I have to go back and forth tweaking it because when I'm talking and I say certain keywords, I'm trying to like switch the screen, and I've noticed that a lot of rapid movement with the screen changing, it really helps to keep people engaged. And I know I used to do YouTube in the past, and I noticed that was whenever I was studying about YouTube, I noticed that a lot of people will, instead of just talking, they'll go through and every time they say this or that. I used to do that a lot. So what I do now, if I do a YouTube video, I just cut that out, that little section, and then I will like zoom in on my face a little bit so it looks like I'm popping in and out, and just little things like that. Little things like that will like keep people, like kind of wakes people up and keep them entertained. YouTube's the same way. A lot of moving the camera around and stuff. I've noticed that a lot of people do well with that. I don't know if you ever watch Jessie. She's a reseller on here. George's Gorgeous Boutique is her name.
Oh yeah. I think her and I follow each other on Instagram as well.
Yeah, if you watch her like what sold videos, you'll see what I mean. She's constantly changing and stuff, and that's kind of stuff keeps people engaged. So
yeah, that's kind of what I did when I started my YouTube channel, is because there's a lot of like reselling YouTube channels and stuff, and for me doing video, I was like, hey, let me throw in a little bit of like cinematic value to this. So that's where I throw out my drone shots, or I'll do like some cinematic shots and be like, I just got this and kind of focus in on it and do that. But that's what immediately drew me to your videos, is because I noticed that stuff, because that's what I do for a job. And I'm just like, man, like he puts a lot of effort into these videos, and it's just like, especially the ones. Yeah, it really is. And I don't think people fully see that, because when I post my videos, I post like, so I'll take them from my finished vlogs, and then all I do is just like I'll put text at the above, and then maybe a little like sticker that has something to do with like the video below. But my videos are already like edited, and so I just copy and paste it over. But you're actually doing it on TikTok, and honestly, I don't know how to even do that. And that's why I like watching yours, because I feel like it's showing me. And when you're I like the ones. What was the one you did the other day where you found like a piece of like glass? It was something for like food, like you put food or something. And it was like red, and you're like, this. I found this at the Goodwill or whatever it was, at the thrift store, and then you pick it up, and then it goes through like the listings, and it's just like you're jumping around.
Yeah,
that takes forever to do. It takes forever to do though.
Takes a little bit of practice. Once you get it down, it's not so bad. Really, for me, the most time consuming is the voiceovers. I feel like, because I have problems mumbling a lot and stuff like that, and it's just really hard for me to open my mouth sometimes, I guess. But I listen back and I'm like, God, I'm just not speaking clear enough. Some people may say the wrong thing, so I have to go back and play around with it a good bit.
Well, the energy is addicting as well, because you started off the same, like, this is what I found. And it's like, man, like it just already fires me up. So I'm just letting you know that's stuff that I have noticed, and I'm sure everybody else notices, but it's extremely contagious, and I'm trying to follow it up, but I can't do it. I have, $1,000 editing programs that I use for work, but I can't figure out the TikTok. It's difficult. I gotta watch the YouTube video.
I guess if you think about it, like eBay, there's keywords you can use that people can find your videos faster. I mean, find your listings better and stuff. It's the same thing with that. Like, there's certain keywords you can say that will like make people leave comments. It will make people like want to watch longer. When you say like at the thrift store, looking for something to flip for a profit, some people don't like that. Some people think it's cool. It kind of triggers stuff like that. But there's all kinds of different. I mean, you just kind of have to play around with it. It took me a lot of practice, and sometimes I feel like I got a really good one, and it just falls flat. Yeah, I feel like the ones I spend too long on just never do good, and the ones I throw together in 5 minutes are the ones that do really well.
That's what I noticed too, is that people really like the organic aspect of TikTok. Like, I've even left up videos where I like completely mess up what I'm trying to say, and I'm like, I'll leave it, and then someone will comment on it, and it'll just start like a 20-person thread. So that's definitely what I've noticed. Twin Cities, thank you, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, when I started on TikTok, I was looking back at my old videos. I was like, what was I thinking? But I was just on there just sharing information about garage sales. Stuff I still do today, just sharing information about my finds and things like that. When I started it, I mean, I wanted to build it up, but I had no idea it was going to be like this. I had no idea it was going to build up like this. But I'm really happy for everybody who's been sticking around and support me and stuff. So it's been awesome. But there's so many people I still love to watch that, it's like, I don't know. There's so many people I think are just way better than I am. It's like,
I know what you mean.
There are people that are way better than I am. And I'm just like taking off. I don't know. I'm just baffled.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've thought the exact same thing. And I mean, I've been at the vlog almost a year now. And it's just like where it's gone. And I decided to start my own side thing, because I do like photography. I even do like a little bit of like, other than my job, like real estate drone photography. And so I'm even branching it up to, I LLC'd my Picker Productions company, and I'm about to trademark San Diego Picker as well. Have you ever, thought about going to that step, or?
I'm sorry, say that again. Sorry, I had to fix something on here.
No, it's all good. I just said I'm, I do a couple things on the side as well, other than just like the picking, where I do like drone photography for real estate. And I've even done a couple like puppy photo shoots because I do photography. So I actually just put in an LLC for Picker Productions. So I'm even, going to do my own thing, and then I'm going to trademark my San Diego picker as well. Is that something that you see yourself doing in the future?
Maybe, I probably
Mm-hmm.
should look into that. I did a YouTube show on the Nashville Flipper yesterday. If anyone wants to go check it out, I did a live show with them that is recorded and it's still up on the Nashville Flipper. I follow him. He's on YouTube. He was asking me about that. If anything, maybe one day I'll do like clothing or something like that, some kind of clothing brand. Because when I started the channel, the name Thrifter Sifter, I created it because not really so much as my own name. I was thinking of just people who like to thrift and sift through stuff. That's kind of how it all started. And I was like, well, maybe I could have a hat one day and a shirt or something like that. People would be into that. I don't know. I was just thinking maybe people would be into that. And it's like for a long time when I hear thrift or sifter, it's like it was so weird hearing that. And now I'm so used to it. It's like, people really like it. So, which I have hats for sale, but I didn't realize that you can only buy them if you have a PayPal account. So I'm going to have to switch that up and try something differently. Maybe that's why I haven't been selling as much. So I'm going to switch that up and see if that helps. Then maybe I'll come up with some shirts or something. I was actually talking to, Garage Flips Lonnie, who has boxer sizers he does. So what I'm thinking about doing is I really like to use a 3-inch tape gun, but this one's good as well. I'm thinking about getting a.
Is that the logo one? That has Is that the logo one? Oh no, that's
no. That's over there. But what I'm thinking about doing is getting some. I'm thinking about getting some stickers made for like something like this. And say like Thrifter Sifter on there, but maybe find like a black one and do like some white lettering or something like that. That's what I'm thinking about trying to do, something like that.
Yeah. That's what I got right now. Every person. So if you go through, I can send you a link, but I get like 250 stickers for like $35. And so when I sell something, I just drop these in there. And I don't know if that's ever, who knows if anybody's actually like followed my YouTube or anything because of that, but you can make your own. So at the bottom, I put like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and just kind of make that on there.
I was just telling myself that today because I made I made these little things that come out of my thermal printer. They'll say like, thank you so much for your order. And I can write the person's name.
Oh, those are awesome.
So I made that black and white so it's backwards on here, of course, but I made it where my thermal printer will print it out of my label thing. And I can just write the person's name and then I can sign it for people who follow me or whatever. But I really have to print them out every time. I really just need to get some cards made because I just don't want to mess with it so much. But this is that thing you're asking me about.
God, that thing is so sick. For anybody that isn't familiar with this, it puts your logo. So do you get the stamp created? Like how do you get that?
So I sent them my logo and they made the stamp for me. They also create logos as well. So basically this right here is a stamp and it's got my logo on it. And this is an ink dispenser right here. And you can put any clear tape on here. And what this does is when it runs the tape through, it prints your logo onto the tape. So you can see it. Cool. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see my logo coming off on the tape. And then it's got this little thing under here. It's got this little thing that pops out. And this is so you can feed the tape through the machine. Yeah. Because it's got all this, stuff in there. And then you pop this back in here. And then this right here, it's got a little hook on here. Yeah. You can pop this down and it will turn the ink off to where you can go back to a clear tape. So it's pretty cool.
That's so cool. Because I know you can get tape made with the logo on it and it's extremely expensive, but that prints it on there as you're unraveling. I need to get my hands on one of those. That's so cool.
Yeah, so there is a link on my bio for these and there's a discount code. Now, they're not cheap for these, but like you said with the customized tape, if you order customized tape, you're gonna pay like $15 to $20 for a roll.
Easily.
And then by the time you buy like 6 rolls of tape, you could have one of these, and this will actually, that ink thing will last so much longer. Now the logo I sent them was kind of small. I'm gonna send them another one eventually, but I can actually make it to where the words are like this big and like really bold, like Thrifter Sifter.
Crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna go redo it soon.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Super cool. Well, I know it's getting late over there for you, so I can let you get going. I think what time is it over here? It's only 7:40 here
Okay.
in San Diego, but it was great talking with you, man. I really
Great having
appreciate it.
fun.
I know we've been talking about this for a while, and feel like I've already learned so much just from this conversation. We should definitely do it again.
Okay. And if y'all
Mhm.
weren't following San Diego Picker, he knows a lot about everything. A lot about Pokemon, I know, and sports, golf clubs, stuff like that. If y'all
Yeah.
ever have questions about that, go hit him up. Go ahead, give him a follow. You're really mainly on YouTube, but you also do TikTok. But I know that you really do a lot of YouTube.
Mhm.
So go follow him on YouTube. He's also on Instagram as well.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I try to post a video. Actually, I think I've only missed 2 weeks. So when I was unemployed, I was doing 2 videos a week. But now with a job, I do one every Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I only missed 1 week, and that was the week we moved and got a puppy. So, I kind of gave myself a little breather there, but I appreciate it. And, I'm getting alerts that's like followed host, followed host. So we got a ton of people heading over your way as well, and I can't wait to see more of the content. I really want to see more of the antique booth, because that's something that you don't see every single day, and to me it's driving me in that direction. I want to start doing antiques now so I can get one of those. So
yeah, it's
mhm.
definitely. I wouldn't say look at it, get an antique booth to make a sole income.
Mhm.
Doing that. But I mean, my idea is that I just expanded it. I should be before long making about $400 a month, profit, 350,
Right.
$400 a month, and that's good to help pay for rent or gas or
Mhm.
whatever. I mean, that can really go a long way for a lot of people. And I only go up there once a week and fill it up. So, and when I'm at home price listing stuff on eBay,
Mhm.
I will. Someone like my reply on YouTube. Sorry, to get notifications for everything. When I'm listing stuff on eBay, if I'm looking at it and I'm like, I just don't think eBay is a good choice, then I'll price it up and put it in there. So.
That's awesome.
But yep.
Yeah. Well, awesome, man. Well, cool. Well,
All right, man.
I'll let you go, and we'll be
All
talking
right.
a lot more, I'm sure. And then, yeah, hopefully we can hop on here and do another one of these. This has been great.
All right. Sounds good. All
Cool.
right. Take care, everybody. All
Take
right.
care. See you, everybody. Thank
All
you.
right.